all these gun freaks around here. So.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, same way with this area. Everybody has a handful of guns and a whole lot of ammo. It's just the way they are. And the more rural you get, that's typically the case.
Mm-hmm.
The better armed people are. And you would kind of think, if you just, if you're from another planet and you come here and you saw the crime in cities, you would make the assumption that those are the most well-armed citizens, but it's not true.
Yeah,
it's the more rural people.
Yeah, the reason the crime is in the cities is because that's where all those gun laws ramp way up. Chicago, we hear on the news every day is, all this gunfire and, murder and everything. Well, that's the place with a gun ban, just like Washington, D.C. The only reason New York City's not like that is I think that's 40th in the level, in the rankings of violent cities, where Chicago and D.C., of course, are always in the top 10, even top 5 sometimes. But the reason New York City's not is just because they've made that a small police state with basically a standing army in that city, a bunch of, sorry to say, I mean, I love most police officers, but New York City, a lot of goon cops all over the place. So it's a very unconstitutional situation, and they've got the gun ban there. Plexico Burris is proof that they're taking that gun ban pretty seriously. And it's, we basically have to form, unfortunately, a counter army. Well, we already exist as one. The American militia, all the gun owners, are the strongest military force in the world. But we have to, just all become friends with each other, really. Go down to the shooting range and everybody talk and know where you live and talk philosophy and Constitution and everything else. I mean, what could be more fun, too?
Yeah, exactly. And as long as we have our minds right about why we still have freedom, and it is because of the firearms, they will try to manipulate us out of our freedom. But as long as we hold on to our guns, there's really not a whole lot they can do. That's the door stopper right there.
Just imagine if they started. I mean, there's a lot of people talking about FEMA camp roundups, and I was in that film that was made last year, Camp FEMA. I'm interviewed right in the middle of it, and I said, right in that film, I said the only thing those FEMA camps are for is not for rounding people up, but for the people who don't have anywhere to go because of the economic collapse that's slowly unfolding. And that's because just imagine if they started rounding people up. I mean, word would get out and people would go crazy. And you'd have the gun owners like me would just get rabid and think this is what kind of we've been waiting for, really. And think of Hurricane Katrina. I mean, the reason that worked in Hurricane Katrina, where they could go around and do that kind of stuff, is because they just did it for such a short time before word could get out of what was really going on. If word would have gotten out, it would have been a bloodbath, unfortunately. Maybe they would have gotten what they deserved, acting the way they did. Those, not even, what were they, Blackwater and so forth? I mean, that's just a corporate private army, standing army. When I started thinking about this, I started getting pretty mad. What is it going to take for us to, these stupid, secret government, forces doing all this stuff. I mean, this is America. This is, Thomas Jefferson and, articles of the Confederation and all that. There's a spirit here which is still alive. When I go down to the gun range, I can still feel it. It's right there. Even though a lot of those people still talk about Glenn Beck and all this garbage. I mean, they're just one step away from thinking right like I do, about all this criminality in the secret government.
That's exactly right. And I think that you're right, that if they were to overplay their hand, Jeff, they would get the brunt of the consequences, and that would really empower the American people and realize that's how it's supposed to be. The government is supposed to fear the citizens, not the citizens fearing the government, and that's what we've had for some time now. People have been intimidated, and it really happened, in a series of basically staged events. Randy Weaver up in Idaho was one of the first ones, but then you had Waco, and then Oklahoma City bombing, and those three together, along with the Freeman, Montana movement that was surrounded up there. By the way, I've told this story before, so I won't tell it again, but I had contact with those guys and tried to talk them out of their they were out of control, folks. They're printing their own money and thinking that there wasn't going to be consequences. Hey, I'm all for bartering and everything, but when you do that stuff and try to get around the banking laws and all that, you're just going to draw so much attention. And these were family men, and that's what I tried to plead to them, is say, hey guys, you got to wise up. Are you technically right? Oh yeah. It's a fiat money system that we have, but doing another one, your system is just adding to the dilemma. And my gosh, I think a lot of them are still in prison, and it's been over a decade since they were surrounded. But what happened, Jeff, is the typical American that would consider himself a patriot, he might not have known about the New World Order or their conspiracy against freedom, but he was a good guy, and he wouldn't allow government to push him too far. That guy got intimidated after those three big events, Oklahoma City, Idaho, and stuff, and that intimidation gave some momentum to the federal government to keep pushing and pushing, and they have been pushing nearly every day since. And you can see it every day in the news, how they've been pushing the Americans around. And I believe we're coming to a point to where we're backed up into a corner, and there's really no place to go. And even the New World Order senses that, and I think they're scared to death that, we're going to lash back every time the citizens get the pitchfork and go after the tyrannist. They take control back, and then the New World Order has to start all over again. Anyway, it looks like we're at the end of the show.
You're listening to Don't Tread on Me.
See you tomorrow.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Top 10 News Stories each day and listen to show archives at don'ttreadonme.tv. The guys will see you again tomorrow.
Hi, this is Jeff Rentz. Royal Raymond Rife was, without question, the most gifted medical scientific genius of our age. He discovered that most disease-related microbes die quickly when exposed to their own specialized resonant radio frequencies. The BCX411 Rife-type frequency instrument has received the highest praise on several continents for its precision, simplicity of operation, and successful research experiment. The BCX, with its comprehensive manual, allows you to select the frequencies you wish to experiment with for the length of time you want to run them. The BCX handheld plasma ray tubes and RF radio carrier wave, like Rife used, are the absolute state-of-the-art in Rife frequency research. For full information and pictures, take the New Earth link at the top of Rense.com. Settle for nothing but the best in Rife research with the BCX411. Again, just take the New Earth link at the top left corner of Rense.com.
At Strider Rides, we believe that somewhere between vintage and the future resides bliss, and it could be experienced on one of our premium motorized bicycles. Our motorized bicycles are comfortable cruising on that remote back road over the weekend, or jetting across town on the way to work. And if you enjoy the rugged outdoor life, you'll love our all-terrain bikes with dirt-ripping tires and the power to get you across any field and deep into the woods. Every motorized bike we build has been designed from the ground up, customized just like you want. We have classic hot rod bikes, cruisers, choppers, and old-fashioned board trackers to start your new life aboard. What are you waiting for? Every day you wait is a day lost. StriderRides.com.
You're listening to the Rense Radio Network, nationwide and worldwide on the net and at rense.com.